Hello everyone! Alright, I'm going to be making a new recipe today, and this is vegan pumpkin spice cookies from the So Much Yum blog. Now, I'm altering it slightly. It calls for whole wheat pastry flour, and I'm going to use some barley flour instead. But I'm going to get started. What you're going to do is sift all of your dry ingredients. So you're going to start with a cup of unbleached all-purpose flour. This is half a cup. You just do this to sift it through. And then you get your next half a cup. It's just really easy to sift. If there's a little hard part, you can just push that through. Now half a cup of barley flour. It's denser, as you can see. It's not sifting through quite as easily. You can either force those pieces through, or I'll probably just discard those. Or get them through as much as you can. Now you're going to put a teaspoon of ground cinnamon. I'm going to sift through a teaspoon of ground cinnamon. Half a teaspoon of salt. Half a teaspoon of baking powder. And you also need some ground ginger, ground nutmeg, ground cloves. I'm going to put all of that in there right now. Half a teaspoon of ground ginger. A quarter teaspoon of ground nutmeg. And a quarter teaspoon of ground cloves. And again, just sift everything through there. So now that you have this together, you're going to mix this through, and you're going to need another bowl for your wet stuff. So let me just get that. Okay, this is the bowl with your dry mixture. You can give that a mix now if you like. And then the next bowl you're going to get together will have your wet ingredients along with your sugar. Okay, so you can mix that a little bit more afterwards, but right now I'm going to put into this bowl 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar. You also need 6 tablespoons of canola oil, 6 tablespoons, you need 3/4 of a cup of pumpkin puree plus 2 tablespoons. It says you can use canned, but I made my own in my Blendtec. I had a pumpkin, I took it and put it in the oven, I scooped out the inside, and then I blended it up, so I have my own homemade pumpkin puree. So 3/4 of a cup plus 2 tablespoons. So that's approximately 1. Well, that's about. The recipe also calls for a teaspoon of pure vanilla, but I have pure almond extract, so that's what I'm using. So I'm putting a teaspoon into the wet mixture. Okay, so once you have your wet mixture together, I'm just going to give the dry another mix to combine it all nicely. As you can see, there's streaks of some of the seasoning. Okay, that's probably good enough. So I'm going to mix together the wet. Combine that a little bit before you add the wet to the dry. Okay, that's already nice and smooth right there. Okay, so add the wet to the dry. And it says use a large spoon to combine. I'm just going to use a fork. I'm going to combine right here. And for this it says you'll need 2 baking trays to put the cookies on, and they apparently will be a bit more cake-like cookies as opposed to crispy, and that's good for me. I like soft, nice cookies. And it's going to have a nice drizzle you put on top of it. So that I will show you in a moment. Just mixing this together. And it says scoop the dough onto prepared cookie sheet and use about 1.5 tablespoons per cookie. And place them 1.5 inches apart. Okay. Oh. Okay, so let me just get this fully mixed and I'll be back. I just realized I'm missing an ingredient. 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. Okay, so it's a good thing I realized that now. And I'm adding that in. Okay, so I'm going to mix this up in. I think that's all that I'm missing. Let me just verify. Yeah. Okay, just going to mix that in. You know, you miss an element and it can change your baking outcome. Absolutely. So I'm just going to have to... See, a little baking powder there. Baking soda, that is. Just going to have to hope I get it all mixed properly. Alright. Okay, so I like to use my Pampered Chef. This tray broke. A friend of mine broke it. But that's what I have, and I find it bakes things the best. So I have the other half elsewhere. So I'm just going to put these on the first half, and then I'll probably have to cook this in batches. So it's about 1.5 inches apart, it says. So this is about 1 tablespoon as opposed to 1.5 tablespoons. I'm going to try to make them heaping tablespoons. Alright. Maybe I'll get 5 off of this one. Okay. Alright, so you're now going to bake for about 12 minutes until they're puffy and springy to the touch. Oh, it did say you could put them on a parchment paper. So I do have another tray which I'll line with parchment paper. But I'm going to start with these first and also get started on the glaze. Now to make the glaze. So it calls for 1/2 cup of confectioner's sugar, which I don't have on hand. So I just took some sugar and I used my coffee grinder and I just ground that up. So hopefully that is 1/2 cup. I guess I'll just scoop that out. And then you're going to sift this as well. Okay, that's not bad. It's pretty much exactly 1/2 cup. I just eyeballed what I put into the grinder. Okay, and then you just sift that. Now you need also 1 teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice, which I do not have. I'm gonna just... So what I'm going to do is use like 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon and 1/4 teaspoon, I think, of nutmeg, 1/4 teaspoon of cloves. Okay, so you've got that. 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. I'm going to put 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg, 1/4 teaspoon of clove. 1/4 teaspoon of cloves. And 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. Alright, so you're going to just sift that through. Actually, also 3/4 of a teaspoon of cornstarch. So hold on. So also sift the 3/4 of a teaspoon of cornstarch. 1, 2, oops, 3. Well, sift through or rub through. Okay. Once again, I'm going to use almond extract as opposed to vanilla extract, and this calls for 1/2 teaspoon. I'm going to put that right there. And 1 tablespoon of soy milk. And then you're going to basically whisk it together until completely smooth and drizzle over the cookies. You don't have to do this immediately. You can do it as the cookies are cooling, but may as well do it now. And just mix. Okay, so this is what the glaze looks like once you've mixed it all together. And I can confirm that it tastes yummy. And here are the cookies. Definitely more cake-like for sure. These ones I decided to add some walnuts and pecans to the top, the second batch. And essentially you're just going to drizzle over the glaze. You can probably use a spoon. And then it's time to sample. Okay guys, here are the cookies, and I just already took the liberty of drizzling on the delicious sauce, and I can't wait to try one. I'm gonna just, like I said, they are very cake-like. I didn't realize they'd be quite this cake-like, but that's what the recipe said. And maybe I'll show you how cake-like they are. So really they're almost like, they're very definitely cake-like cookies. And they taste delicious. If you like pumpkin pie, these are really scrumptious. I ate the batter that was left over, and my daughter did as well. You could just get a spoon and eat that. That's how good this is. Okay, so maybe you could cook them a little longer if you want them a little crispier. But these are nice like this. Really delicious. Good with, obviously, coffee, tea, cup of milk. I think I'm going to do that right now. Soy milk, of course, or almond milk, but plant-based milk. And thanks for watching, guys. Definitely try this. It's delicious. And oh my god, guys, the one with the nuts, even better. This is so, so, so delicious. Alright, hope you try this. Thanks for watching.